What up, dudes? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers. We got a knife review, the Eikonic RCK9, designed by Ramon Chaves, legendary knife designer, now in budget form. Let's get into it, baby. I'm going to make sure that I got the name of that right. Yeah, RCK9, right there. Great box, by the way. Nice magnet, life with an edge. I like it. All right. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, please do that and follow me on Instagram, duties_daggers. I put it up in the corner here just in case you forget throughout the video to subscribe. That's just kind of a reminder, like, do it. And this guy, I don't know, he's just up there. So let's measure this knife. We have a blade length of just over 3 inches. It's like 3 1/16. The cutting edge, though, is pretty much exactly 3 inches. Handle length, just about exactly 4. That's cool. Nice even numbers. And overall, we are almost exactly 7. Look at that, dude. That is cool as crap. I love to see that. 3 inches, 4 inches, 7 inches overall. Dude, so nice and easy. I loved it. All right. Let's do some size comparisons. Help you get an idea of how big it is. My Riot made Chaves, the Chaves Scapegoat. There you go. You can definitely see the Chaves design elements in the RCK9 here. A lot of similarities in the handle, mostly both the blade and the handle. Nice big sharpening choil. Excellent. He is just such a good designer. He's one of those guys that can use simple lines and just put them together in such a way that is so pleasing to the eye. Let's get out a couple more. Hogue Deca. Spyderco Paramilitary 2. There you go. Hogue's even a little bit longer. Let's check it out against, let's see, how about the Baby Banter? There you go. Demco 80-20.5, how about that? Right around the same size as the 20.5. There you go. All right, now we got to measure the thickness behind the edge. This feels pretty thin. I'm going to guess, let's see, I'm going to guess around 20 thousandths. But I could be pleasantly surprised. Let's check it out. 20 is really not that bad. Let's check it out right in front of the sharpening choil. What do we got? 19 thousandths. I was close. At the middle, 18 thousandths there. Towards the tip, 19 again. So that's pretty good. That's right around Civivi Elementum thickness behind the edge. To help put it in perspective, the Baby Banter is 16 thousandths behind the edge. Elementum is 20. The PM2 is 24 thousandths behind the edge. And the Benchmade Griptilian, which is on the quite thick side, is around like 28 thousandths. So 19, 20. I think that's very good for an EDC knife. Obviously, could be even thinner, but this is good. This is very good. I have no complaints with that. So let's talk about the construction of this baby. We got some olive green G10 going on, both sides. It's a liner lock. The liners are stonewashed stainless steel, and they're sticking out a bit around the edges of the G10, giving that shadow boxed kind of look. I always like that. I think it's just a nice touch. You know, why not do it? You might as well. I think it helps with the ergos a little bit too. It's almost creating like a little bit of a chamfer or contouring slightly, you know. The blade. Nice stonewash on the blade. I actually really like that stonewash. We got a big Eikonic logo right there. Wish it was smaller, but, you know, it's a new knife brand, so I get why they're doing it. People aren't familiar with this emblem, which I actually really like. I think that is a very cool logo. But people aren't familiar with that, so they want to put it big letters so people get familiar and get to know these knives. Like I said, liner lock. Pocket clip is in set, but they did not use flat-headed screws, which is a mystery. It is an absolute mystery. It's almost defeating the purpose of taking the time and effort to inset it if you're just going to use these button-headed screws anyways. I would like to see those flat-headed. That'd be cool. But the clip itself works really well. In and out of the pocket pretty easy. It's a nice short clip, which I really like. I'm tired of these long-ass clips. They're not needed. You know, I like these much shorter ones. It's pretty low profile too. You know, it's wide, but it's not. It doesn't sit very high off the scale, so that's great. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a G10 backspacer too in black, right there. Yeah, we got T6 for the body screw. I wish it was T8, but you know, it is what it is. T6. The pivot though is T8, so that's good. The blade is in D2. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Yeah, that's pretty much the construction of this baby. Yeah. Liner lock. We are perfectly centered. Lockup is rock solid. Stop pin. Typical construction. Everything looks good. Alrighty. Let's talk about the ergos, baby. This is very ergonomic. You know, I have a large glove-sized hand, and this fits me very well, super well. I'm very locked in. You know, the pointer finger kind of rests right in that groove there. And then since it kind of swells so drastically out at the back, it just makes you feel really locked into it. I very much like it. Now, if you had bigger hands than me and you were kind of back here even, it's not a problem because your finger just kind of rests. Your pinky finger can rest like halfway on the back, or if your pointer finger or your pinky finger is totally off the back, that's really fine too. It's not really affecting much if you have a finger or two or three hanging off the back. It's fine. But if you have large size hands like I do, you're going to be right in between these 2 points, and it's going to feel very good. Super locked in. Yeah, I don't feel the clip at all. I'm going to squeeze it as hard as I can. Yeah, I don't feel any major hot spots. You know, the edges aren't rounded. There is a slight chamfer going around the edges, but, you know, it's not a contoured handle. It's just not going to be as ergonomic as something with contouring going on. So if I squeeze as hard as I can can kind of feel these edges a little bit. But, you know, for what it is, it's pretty darn good. Let's talk action, baby. We have a thumb stud only knife, which is how a lot of Chaves knives are. He makes some with flippers, but they're always either flippers or thumb studs, and it's usually thumb studs. I'm just going to leave this out since we're talking about a Chaves. Let me wipe the blade off, by the way. Get this thing looking nice and purty. Gosh, I love the satin flats on the scapegoat. They look so good. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good. Let's put you up here, baby. So, thumb stud only. I think they got this D10 dialed, man. It feels great. It really does. It feels crisp. It feels fun and good just to fire out. Reverse flicking. Yep, easy. You can kind of do it with your you know, put your fingernail behind it and flick it out. Or you can do it with the skin tip of your finger. Push it out that way. Either way works. Yeah, action's good. No complaints. Not very false shut at all. You can get it to. You can give it one pretty drastic shake and get it to go down, or a couple lighter shakes, it'll go down. We are on bearings, so I'm a little surprised it's not smoother. Actually, let me look in there and make sure. It is bearings. Yep, it's bearings. But whatever. I mean, compared to the Scapegoat, this is some of the most hydraulic action in my collection out of any knife. Like, it's nuts. Oh, I love it so much. So compared to that, this is not fall shut at all. But it's a budget knife, so whatever. What else? The blade shape. This is a drop point blade, but with a good amount of belly. Not, I tend to go for knives with less belly than this. The Scapegoat has less belly. This is more of a downward pointing drop point. You can see right there. But this is still a drop point. You can see it starts right here and kind of drops down. If it had a clip or a clip up here, it might be considered a clip point. I don't know, but this is a drop point. Still pretty useful though. You'll be able to get to the tip. You just have to raise your wrist up a bit. And since there is a pretty good amount of belly, you might even be able to use some of this right here for draw cuts. Since it is a very nice thin blade, you could probably get away with even doing that. But pretty well-rounded blade. Not the most versatile of any blade shape, but you'll slice pretty well with this. You are going to have to watch out while you're slicing, especially cardboard. The cardboard's going to want to come in here and get stuck in the sharpening choil, and it's going to want to, once it gets over here, it's going to want to whoop, kind of slide off the bellied tip there. But it'll be fine. You just got to pay attention, and it'll slice just fine. Speaking of the sharpening choil, I really do like it. It's an excellent area for, as far as a sharpening choil, this is excellent. You can see the plunge grind starts to kind of slope up right where my fingernail is and ends right back here. And so you have between right there where the edge ends and where my pinky nail is, all that area to sharpen. So that's really cool. That's a very good amount. Now compared to the Scapegoat, I mean, this is like the sharpening choil of all sharpening choils, right? This is it's like insane. I mean, it's really a finger choil too, and very comfortable one. This is the sharpening choil of all sharpening choils, but this is pretty good. This is better than you see on most big production knives. This is better. So that's cool. I like that. What else? Yeah, that's kind of it. We got milling. The liners are milled out for weight relief. It's not that heavy, but it does feel solid. Definitely doesn't feel too cheap. Nice and solid, a little bit weighty. That's good. Let's talk about the, brand and, the materials they're using and the prices that they are charging. This knife, at first glance, is a bit pricey. This is around $85, maybe a slightly more, slightly less, right around 85. And you're first going to think, well, that's D2, that's too much. And I agree. I wish this was in 14C28N. I really do. I've heard arguments saying that, they're a new company. They want to test the market with maybe a lesser expensive steel, less expensive steel for them and us, to see if there's really any interest in these knives. So they chose D2 to kind of test the market with the knives. I get that, possibly. I did learn that, so basically Ray from Everyday City Carry talked to the owner of Eikonic, and he learned some interesting things. He was talking about them in his live stream, so I will regurgitate those back to you from him. Apparently these knives are all assembled, tuned, and sharpened all by hand, which is really cool. A lot of these large production knife companies are having their knives sharpened with robots, so cool. That's, this is a nice edge, very nice edge. I wouldn't say it's better than a Spyderco edge, maybe. That's done by a robot, probably, I think. But it's definitely good, nice, a little slightly toothy, but no issues with it at all. The edge bevel is very nice and even all the way across and on both sides, so that's great. As far as it being hand-tuned, I guess that means just making sure the detent is good, you know, maybe adjusting the lock bar tension if they need to, and assembled by hand, meaning you're not going to have any stripped screws or anything like that. I think most knives are assembled by hand, though, right? I mean, I don't think they have robots assembling the knives, but I guess I could be wrong. So that's a reason why it's a little bit more expensive than you might expect. You know, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that they move on to 14C, 154cm, something like that on their next round of knives, whatever that is, if they make these designs again or they try new ones. We'll see, you know. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this company. I think it's a really good way to get knives from these legendary knife makers, knife designers, into the hands of people that can't afford maybe a Riot-made version of it. And Ramon Chaves is not the only legendary designer making knives for Eikonic. We have Brian Nadeau of Sharp by Design. He has a design with them. We have Brian Brown has a knife with them, and a few others that I can't remember or am less familiar with. But that is really cool, dude. That is really, really cool. Some people will say, you know, no knife is out of somebody's price range. You can just save up and get one. Anyone can save up. If they saved up long enough, they could get one. Sure. Are people going to? I don't think so. I don't think the majority of people, without ever trying a Chaves, are going to save up their money for 6 months to a year and buy one of these. I just don't think it's happening. They are much more likely to buy one of these and carry it around and say, well, you know what? This is pretty good. This makes me even more curious about the more expensive version or more expensive design by the same designer. Maybe then they will save up their money and get one. It's unlikely they're going to go right to this. Now, I had to save up a little while to get this. I definitely did. Not super long. Definitely a few weeks, you know. But I had done a ton of research, and I'm a knife nut, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I do things like this. I spend more money than I should on knives that maybe aren't even worth that much, but I buy them because I love the design, you know? That's what I like to do. I'm a knife enthusiast, and I know most of you guys watching are guys or gals. And so for the average person that's maybe just getting into the knife hobby, maybe just, you know, not everyone has the same means of living as everyone else, you know. Some people's level of financial freedom is, it just totally varies. So to say that someone should just save up and get the real thing is really not fair, you know. You have no idea the financial situations that other people are in. There's just so many variables. You can't say that. So I think it's a very cool thing what Eikonic is doing. Yes, I wish they were either more around the $50 range and in D2, or I wish they were, you know, right around where they are right now, 85-ish with 14C or something even better. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what they do, right? Let's see what they do after these rounds of knives come out, and I think they're being well received overall. And let's see what they do. If they continue to offer these same materials at the same prices, well, at that point, you know, we can talk about it then. But they're a brand new company. Let's see what happens. All right. At least that's what I'm going to do. You can do whatever you want. So that's the Eikonic RCK9 designed by Ramon Chaves. This is a loaner sent to me by Blade Ops. So a big thank you to Blade Ops. I'm going to send this back to them soon. And I'm going to link this down below. It'll take you right to Blade Ops. And yeah, they have a great selection. Take a look at what they got. Any purchase you make does help out the channel a little bit, and I would appreciate it. If you're already going to pick up the knife, might as well get it from Blade Ops, right? Thanks, dudes. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.